Hello, I'm Danielle Oliver Chauvet. Welcome to Knitting Nicely. Today we're going to learn how to do a little heart stitch in lace, sort of like the one that I'm doing, actually exactly like the one that I did on the Marguerite stole, which you can find on expressionfiberarts.com. This is the stitch that we will be working on right here, these little hearts. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so this is how we do little lace hearts. As you can see, I've done some daisy stitches down here. Those little daisy stitches are on the Marguerite stole as well, and I have made a video for those too. I'll link it in the comments if you want to learn how to make those cute little stitches. But this video is about the lace hearts. So, and I want my lace hearts to end up right on the top of my daisy stitches to make everything look nice and neat. So this is where I'm going to start them, right in the middle of my daisy stitches. I'm going to do 3 hearts across this little sample. So I'm going to start out with this garter stitch edging. So I'm just knitting these first few stitches. Okay, and then I know that my daisy stitches are 6 petals, so I'm going to knit 3, and then I'm going to make a yarn over, and then knit 3 more. Okay, that's the beginning. That's like the bottom point of my heart. So I'm going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I make a yarn over. Then I'm going to make 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you're going to end up with more stitches on this row than your original stitch count because of those yarn overs, because we're not taking any stitches away. We're just adding a yarn over on this row. Okay, then I'm going to make 1 stitch in the middle of my daisies. So that's this next one, so knit. Then I'm going to make another yarn over right in the center of this daisy stitch. So three knit stitches, then a yarn over, then 3 knit stitches. So 1, 2, 3, yarn over, 1, 2, 3. Then I need my stitch for in the middle. And then I'm going to do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to end the row with just knit stitches. Okay, now it's time for row 2. Row 2 is easy. Just going to knit the first few for our garter edging, purl the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video so that you don't have to watch me purling this entire row. But you purl the row and then start up the video again once you're done purling your row. Okay, now we're ready to make row number 3. It's a right side row, and you can see all of my little holes that I made for the bottom points of my hearts here. Okay, now on this row, we're going to keep our stitch count the same. So when we make a yarn over, we also need to take away a stitch. So let's do this on this row. We're going to knit the first few because that's our garter border. Okay, and then we come to 2 stitches before our yarn over. So I have 3 stitches before, so I need to make 1 more. So now you can see this yarn over here. 2 stitches before the yarn over, I'm going to knit those 2 together. Knit 2 together. Then I'm going to make another yarn over because I just took a stitch away, so now I'm going to make a stitch. Now I'm going to knit into that yarn over stitch. Now I'm going to make another yarn over that made another stitch, so now I have to take away a stitch. And this time I'm going to make an SSK, which is basically slip, slip, knit. It's the opposite, it's the mirror image of a knit 2 together. So I'm going to slip 1 stitch to my right needle, knitwise, slip another stitch to my right needle, knitwise, and then I'm going to put my left needle into the front of those 2 stitches together. Now I'm ready to do a knit into the back of both of those stitches together. So knit into the back of those stitches, and that decreases another stitch. So now my stitch count is back to where it was for the previous row. It's still more than before I started my before I started my heart lace. because I still have that extra one as the bottom of my hearts, but it's the same as that row that I made all those yarn overs. Okay, so now we're gonna, I hope I'm not confusing anybody. Now we're gonna continue on this row, keeping our stitch count the same by every time we add a stitch, we're also going to decrease a stitch. So here we go. Gotta go over to 2 stitches before the yarn over. See that hole? That's the yarn over. These are the 2 stitches before it. We're gonna knit those 2 together. This is called a right leaning decrease because that stitch is leaning to the right. Now I need to make a yarn over, and then I'm gonna knit, then another yarn over. Now I want to make a left leaning decrease because I want my heart to look like a heart. So I want my stitches to lean this way on this side and lean that way on the other side. So a left leaning decrease is that SSK that we did just previously on the other heart. So it just means to slip 1 knitwise, slip 1 knitwise, put the left needle into the front and knit through the back of both stitches. Let's do it one more time. Get over to this area here, 2 stitches before my yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, SSK. And then I'm going to knit the rest of that row. Alrighty, row 4 is just like row 2. We're going to knit the first few stitches for our garter edge, purl the middle, and knit the last few stitches for our garter edge. And like before, you can stop the video, get your 4th row done, and then restart the video and we'll start row 5 together. Okay, so here's row 5. Row 5 has lots of things going on. So I'm gonna review what we're gonna do. Row 5 is we're going to continue making this heart lean towards the right on the right side of the heart and left on the left side of the heart. But we're also going to decrease that 1 stitch that we created at the bottom of our hearts, the little point at the bottom of our hearts when we made that extra stitch, because we want our stitch count to be the same on the main body of our work. Our hearts make an extra stitch. We got to decrease it again at the top of our hearts. So that's what we're going to do on row 5. All right. First few stitches are knits to keep our garter border. And then 2 stitches before that yarn over, we're going to do that knit 2 together, and then a yarn over. And now this is where we're going to do our decrease, decreasing from where that yarn over is at the bottom of our heart. So we're going to slip 1 knitwise to our right needle. Then we're going to knit 2. Then we're going to slip this slipped stitch over the top of those 2 knitted stitches. Okay. That decreased our stitch count because we just took away a stitch without adding a stitch. See here, we took away a stitch and added a stitch. Here we just took away a stitch. Now we're going to add a stitch and then take away a stitch. So add it by doing a yarn over, and then take it away by doing an SSK. All right, let's do that again. So we're going to knit 1, and here's 2 stitches before our next yarn over. Now we're going to decrease by doing a knit 2 together. Now we're going to do a yarn over, slip that next stitch knitwise onto your right needle, knit the next 2, 1, 2, then slip that slipped stitch. This is the stitch that we just slipped. We're going to slip it right over the top of these 2 knitted stitches, then do a yarn over, then an SSK. Okay, let's do one more. So we have 1 knit stitch in between. here's our next yarn over. So 2 stitches before it. We're going to decrease, increase, getting ready to decrease, knit 2. Now we're going to decrease, increase, then decrease. Okay, that was row 5. And guess what? Our hearts are pretty much done. Now we just have to turn our work over and work our wrong side row, which is row 6, which is just all purl again, except for the edges we're going to knit because we're going to keep our garter border. So go ahead and stop the video, do that row 6, and then restart it, and we'll talk about what we did. Okay, so I have finished that row 6, and you can see those cute little hearts. There's the bottom where we increased. Then that's row 1 where we increased. Row 2 was just a purl on the wrong side. Row 3 is where we kept the stitches the same. So decrease, increase, same, increase, decrease. And then row 4 is you just purl the wrong side. Then row 5 is where we needed to decrease from our increase on row 1. So it was a decrease, increase, and then a decrease here with these 2 in the middle, then an increase and a decrease. I really like this lace pattern because it's easy to center it on whatever you want to center it on, because you just have to remember, okay, so if I want to center it here, that's where I'm going to put my yarn over for that first row, and then everything else falls into place. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make a little tiny lace heart that's easy to center on whatever you want to center it on whatever you want to create. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you really like these videos, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever I make new videos. Thanks a lot. Have a great day and happy knitting.